Hey, what's going on, my BMX nerd friends? Welcome back to another episode of Kanode Knows. This week, it's Peter Adam. If you're in BMX, you know who Peter Adam is, and you've seen his work, you've seen his riding, maybe. I'm so excited for this one, so I'm not even going to waste your time introing anything. Make sure you rate the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, hit that like button, ring the bell. You can customize the bell so that you get notified when these drop, but every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Arizona time. I don't know where that is for the rest of the world, but I really enjoyed talking to Peter. Thank you for coming on. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Say
Nice.
that again.
Yeah, once I saw you had a dog, I knew you were all right. So I thought, yeah, I'll do this.
What did you think when I reached out? Yeah, what did you, when I said, hey, Pete, will you be on my
Yeah,
podcast?
well, at first I was like, nah, but then I
Yeah.
listened to loads of them and I'm like, no, these are cool. I enjoy them. So I thought, I just, I don't know, I find it a bit weird talking about yourself,
Yeah. Yeah.
but, and I also realized, um, apart from Ben, I'm the first, well, I guess I'm the first European as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite as confident as you Americans, you know. So that's why I was a little bit hesitant. I was like, oh, I don't want to sound like an idiot, you know. So, but here we are.
Yeah, you
Here we
said
are.
we might need a translator.
Yeah, I might need a translator, but my accent's quite mellow compared to what the can be over here, you know.
Yeah.
If you grow up in the countryside or
What is
yeah,
your accent like called?
uh,
Irish?
that's Northern Irish.
Northern
Yeah,
Irish. That's dope.
Northern Irish. Yeah, because there's two countries here. There's Northern Ireland and then the Republic of Ireland. So
Oh, I
it's
didn't know that.
yeah. So it's but the accents vary so much.
I
You know,
believe it.
you travel 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it's completely different.
Yeah. So when you talk to like Chris Kyle, for example, or Donachi, they both have like a totally different accent than you. But to me, it kind of sounds
Well, let me just stop you
super
there,
similar.
Bobby. They're
Yeah.
from a different country.
I know they're
They're from
from.
Scotland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Which is
All right.
totally
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
But to me, it sounds the
yeah.
same. Like or at least
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah. Chris Kyle actually grew up like you can see Scotland from my kitchen window.
No shit.
And the town he grew up in, you can see pretty much from my kitchen window. So I used to get the ferry over back in the day, and I used to see little tiny Chris Kyle before any tattoos, anything. Seen him riding this little park
Hell
when he was
yeah.
like 11 or 12, maybe. So it was
That's
pretty cool.
amazing. What was Chris
Yeah.
Kyle like when he was 11 or 12?
No tattoos,
Yeah.
but he had the backflips. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been super cool seeing him growing up, and you know,
Did he just grow up in a skate park? Is that why he's so good?
yeah, I guess he moved. You need to get him on to tell this story, like, but I think he moved from that little town to Dumbarton, the skate park,
Okay.
when he was like 15. I don't think he told his parents he was moving to a skate park, and then he,
Wait, so
like,
he legit moved to live at a skate park?
yeah, 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 yeah. He was like
Whoa.
just wanted to ride. It's pretty crazy. Yeah,
That is pretty crazy. Well, he made
glad
it
it worked
work,
out
dude.
for him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad I yeah. Keep me
That
cleaning out
could
the
go one
toilet.
of two ways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
about like you're making a living? Was that a dream when you were younger to, just subsist off of BMX, and have you done that? Because like, I've
Yeah.
I've seen your videos forever, but has that been your main source of like a living, or like did you have to,
Um,
balance working a job and doing it? And I mean,
yeah.
you've been filming since 1994, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Um, so I mean, at what point has there ever been a period of time where you're just doing BMX and making a decent living?
It's I knew you were going to ask me this because I've listened to the other ones, and it's been a very long, twisting path with mountains and valleys, and
Yeah,
it like back in 1994, there was no such thing as becoming a BMX filmer, like
yeah,
especially not in Ireland or even, I mean, really Europe. It didn't exist. So it
yeah,
was like it was never really thought no, I never really dreamt about doing it because I never thought it was actually sort of attainable, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I always just filmed because I loved it, and got my first camera like the footage. Well, when I say film in '94, when I went to school, I rented a camera for like a day off a friend, paid him like £3 or something, and that was kind of
What's a
the start of
pine?
it.
That's your currency, right?
That's just that pounds, yeah, pounds,
Okay.
quids,
Quid. It's wild. All right.
whatever
Well,
you want to
all
call it.
right. First question is,
Yeah.
how many BMXers does it take to screw in a light bulb?
This is my one.
Yeah.
What is it? If 15, what is it? One to change it and the other 14 to go, yeah.
Yes,
The
sir.
original joke is how many Irishmen does it take to change a light bulb?
Yeah, it works for
100.
BMX too, huh? How many?
100, yeah. One to hold the light bulb and 99 to turn the house. That's
I
the
like
original.
that. I've been talking to Will Smith and Fred Murray, and they wanted me to
Uh-oh.
mention the ET joke, which shall not be put on air, but you might get a kick out of me mentioning it. I don't know. I'm so curious. We'll talk about it after the show. What the ET joke is.
Extra testicle.
Are you cool? What is like? They texted me and said, "Don't let him say it on air." Is it that bad?
The ET joke? Oh,
Yeah.
that ET joke. Oh yeah, there's a few of them, you see. No, yeah, let's not say no. That's not no. I know the one they're talking about. I wondered where you were going with there. There's a few ET jokes, but yeah, there's one that's very particular to Northern Ireland, and it's not
Okay.
very no, it's not very nice. I wouldn't repeat it. I wouldn't repeat it anywhere, to be honest. Yeah.
Cool. Well, shit, man. I don't even know where to start with you, Pete. I've been a fan of your work forever. When I was researching you this morning, I was like looking at, and I was like, damn, dude, like everything. Even when I was when I was coming of age in BMX, like I'm 18 years old, you're putting out the videos that are shaping the culture. You know, like
Making me feel old here, Bobby. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Well, how
been
old are
around
you?
for a
You're
while. Yeah,
42. Are you 42?
42.
I started.
1979.
Yeah, I was trying to do some math earlier to figure it out because I was watching you or look like reading through some of your old interviews and whatever.
Yeah, just snuck in there.
There's all right. All right, let's see.
I know there's a lot.
Dude, you've done
Kind of
so
why I was
much.
like,
It's like
oh no,
where
I'm
do I
just gonna
even start?
blabber.
Let's just
Yeah.
start with the most recent shit. Like congrats on winning E-Feist with
Oh,
Nathan. I know
is
that
it
you and
fun?
Nathan have been filming for 10, 12 years together at least. Like
Yeah,
what's your
yeah.
history with Nathan?
Funny, we were talking about this recently and just last week in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I think the first time I met Nathan was in 2009.
Okay.
Like, might be 2009. I'm kind of patchy with dates. Maybe 2010 at an old like Rebel Jam in Portugal. It was like
Sick.
Nathan, Dak, and it was like a Vans trip. I think they were on like a. Would it have been a Vans trip? Maybe not a Vans trip. But anyway, yeah. So back then, but then, and then I kind of saw him at a couple of just events and stuff over the years, and then I suppose we first started filming properly in like 2012 or 2013 for the United video.
Still United?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was in the first trip, and the first trick was in your neck of the woods
In Arizona?
in Phoenix. Yeah,
Sick.
yeah. It would have been. It's just like a quick clip in the video, but he does like nollie switch feeble on this
Oh yeah, on the
extreme
Greenway,
on the
green rail, steep, right off the
yeah,
freeway. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, dang it, because I watched a little bit of it this morning, and that's an
yeah,
awesome setup for a nollie trick. The only
yeah,
him, and then there's only one other person I've seen ride that rail is John O'Hopping from New Zealand. He hangered
yeah.
it both ways. Have you seen anything else on that rail?
Well,
I feel like you're an encyclopedia.
I was gonna ask if you is security bad there?
It has been. I've been kicked out.
Yeah, because the day we filmed that, this was like my kind of introduction to Nathan, and it was like he like nollie feebled it, looped out, nollie feebled it, looped out, bike tomahawking across the car park, and then security came, and he like gave me a look and kind of was like, keep rolling. And I was like,
Nice.
I'm still rolling. We are on the same page here. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you know what I mean? I was like, yes, I'm up for this. You're up for this. And then he did it again, fell. And then security was like, okay, guys, wrap it up, wrap it up. There's like three people at the top of the stairs.
Yep.
We like left to go back to I don't know, I guess we're in a van. And he looked at me again and was like, dude, do you want to go back and get it? And I was like, well, I'm already there, you know? So
Yeah.
ran up, security was coming, and then he did it and we ran away. And that was it. That was the first trick I ever filmed with Nathan properly.
No
And
shit. That's awesome.
like, yes, like I'm
That's
up for
amazing.
I'm always up for a bit of a bit of excitement.
Yeah. I love it. And
Yeah.
that's part of the game. And then that's got to be a bond. There's something special about filming and then, security coming or just like something like that you share together now. And now like from that moment on, you and Nathan have like a bond. You like accomplished a
Yeah.
goal
It
together,
was like,
defying odds, It's pretty cool.
yeah, we're on the same page. I don't mind a bit of drama. I quite enjoy a bit of drama, if someone's,
Yeah.
you're shouting your security, or I don't know, like growing up here, there's quite a bit of, you know, stuff going on, so I kind of grew up with it, so I'm fine with it.
What do you mean stuff?
Just, well, I guess I sort of almost didn't want to mention this stuff because it's almost like you could almost do a whole other podcast, but I mentioned that there's two countries here, and
Yeah.
it's I guess quite a violent past, like I grew up in a civil war.
No
You need to
shit.
maybe kind of look it up. I don't know, get some images up, or I don't really want to talk too much about it, but like it's definitely kind of shaped me as a person growing up
Yeah.
and like moving forward. So if you look up some stuff, just like if people want to look it up,
What
it's
would I
called
look up?
the Troubles.
The Troubles.
So if you just look up Northern Ireland Troubles, you get a good idea of what it was like in the kind of 80s, 90s. And then there was like an agreement, like a peace agreement signed in 1998. So it's been kind of a bit mellower since then, but in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, it was full blown
Dude.
tanks on the street, army, like armed vehicles, bombs going off everywhere. It's pretty crazy.
Whoa.
So
Because I
yeah,
read in the interview of you where you did, I forget what interview it was, but you mentioned, I grew up in a rough neighborhood. That's like an understatement. I grew up
yeah,
in a
well,
civil war, bro. What the
yeah. It
fuck?
was like, but then saying that, I mean, I grew up in it was actually quite a nice area, but everyone was affected. It was like,
Yeah.
it didn't really matter where you lived. It was like, if you went into the city to go shopping or something, you kind of had to go through, metal detector, like revolving metal doors, barbed wire. It was crazy as a kid, it was like, it
Dude,
was just
yeah.
normal. It was just normal for us. But looking back, like it was insane.
That is
Dodging around.
insane.
You would
That
go to
is
ride a
amazing.
spot. Yeah, you would go to ride a spot, and like you would have to, there might be like a car bomb. So you'd have to like go around a different street and ride a different edge or something. So a couple of security guards for me is not
Yeah, dude.
that. I was like, yeah, Nathan, I got this. So
Talk
uh,
about perspective. That's amazing.
yeah.
Nothing can phase you from that. And then, I mean, all right, so back to Nathan. You guys worked
Yeah.
together, and over the years, like you did Still United, you did an X Games part, and then recently this E-Feist one. Let's talk about that. Like, I'd
We
loved
did
it.
two X Games parts, didn't we?
Did
Yeah.
you do? Yeah. How many X Games gold medals do you have, Peter Adam?
I got the Nashville boys did me proud. I got one with Nathan and one with Corey.
That's
And
so
then I got
sick, dude.
silver as well. I know, unreal, like growing up watching X Games on TV, because it was on at nighttime here. So you had to put a VHS in, you know,
Yeah, record it and then watch it the next
record it in
time.
long play, watch it the next day. So yeah, it's quite funny. It's quite funny. Yeah. Getting the medal and then coming home to Ireland. It was quite very strange. Nobody cared, it was like a bit deflating,
Yeah.
it was like back to reality.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was good. Yeah.
But in our little BMX world, it's a big deal, dude.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. That's fire. It's
Thanks. Yeah.
it really is mind blowing to think about how long you've been doing it and how you still have enthusiasm for it and like you still care very much about the end product. Like let's just focus on the Feist one. Like the
Yeah.
theme you created, Fred was telling me that you went and got a bunch of knickknacks for that opening scene. Like
Yeah,
you went to a store and bought stuff, and like for the one
yeah,
second clip of him like hitting the alarm clock, you went and bought stuff, bought props and stuff like that. And like
yeah,
that's just
yeah.
going the extra mile. And then yeah, with that Feist video, the my favorite part, or like it was totally awesome, the whole thing. I love the theme. It's cohesive. It like what you do in your videos where like you make it your own, but you don't like take away from the writing. Like you understand like it should be a BMX video, and it is a BMX video, but there's like little splashes of, art. And I love that, and how you do it. I'm curious about like, so when I was watching Nike Battilla, I watched the Etnies Malaga with Ruben. I got so
Oh
many
yeah.
questions, dude. We gotta stick
You're
on.
making me blush, Bobby.
We gotta watch. We gotta stick on this Nathan Feist one. I love the
Okay.
rain part. Tell me about
Oh
tell me about
yeah.
that rainy day session. How you guys got that clip?
Yeah. Well, uh, I guess, I guess, like I say, Nathan and I were kind of on the same page from day one. So, we were in Scotland, and of course it's going to rain. So, he showed up the first day, and I remember checking the weather for the week, and I was like, well, you're gonna have to ride in the rain because it's raining like 5 days out of the seven.
Oh
And
shit.
Nathan's from Nashville, so he's used to rain and cold and gnarly spots. And people sort of forget that. People think, I don't know, he's a bit Californian these days, but not, Nashville's pretty gnarly as well
Yeah.
with the weather and stuff. So I knew he was gonna have to ride in rain, and that handrail was maybe like 3 minutes from the hotel or 4 minutes from the hotel. So it started, we're actually just out riding that day, just naturally anyway. And then it kind of sprinkled a little bit, and we were on the way back to the hotel, and it really started coming down. And I was like, Nathan, we're near that handrail. And he was like, dude, are you down? I'm like, yeah, I'm down. I'm already there.
Yes.
Uh, and then it really started hammering down. And I think there might be a little extra video comes out, but there's like a shot of Nathan underneath the shelter, like banging his shoes to dry them,
No
because
shit. Yeah.
there's nowhere to dry your feet. He's banging his shoes under the cover, and then I'm kind of half hiding under this, like kind of, I don't know, shop thing.
Yeah.
And all I heard Nathan like, I'm coming, and I was like, all right, ran out with my camera. And the first one he did, he actually snaggled and then like iced the last bit, which is really scary. So he had
Yeah.
to like put his feet down again, soaked, go back up, smack his shoes again, and then he was like, coming, and then ran out and got it. Yeah.
It's a fire
And then,
clip. Were
yeah, I loved
like
it.
no protection on the camera, just raw dogging in the rain.
I had the second angle, I had like the cover from a camera bag over it. But the fisheye, I just wanted all the rain hitting the mic, hitting the
Yeah.
lens, just really in it, get the kind of full
I love that.
experience.
It's
And
amazing.
listen, that's not my first time filming in the rain. I filmed a lot in the rain,
I
you
believe
know,
it.
over here.
Yeah. How many, I mean, considering how many hours you've put in behind a camera on a bike too, dude, you've heard that phrase like 10,000 hours mastery,
Oh
10,000 hours
yeah.
of doing something and then you become a master. I bet you're like a 10 times master easily.
Should retire.
uh, Never retire, man. Keep going.
I still enjoy it so much. I'm glad. I think the word you used there, enthusiasm, that's the
Yeah.
key word. As long as I wake up enthusiastic, I'm excited,
Yep.
I want to do it. It's like the main,
And
that's
you
it.
keep improving. Like as I was going through the videos that, in 2013, you're running around with the DSLR like at your eye level of filming, and then like the
Yeah.
evolution to now where and then you went to Steadicam upside down. Is that still your current method with the
I've
Steadicam
got,
upside down?
yeah, I'm glad. Thanks for noticing all that, because I always try and like get new cameras, new equipment, like every kind of couple of years, trying to keep it going. I do have a is it a Movi, whatever you call them?
Movi, that's one of those big boys, right? The
I've got a big
gimbal.
boy.
Yeah.
I've got a gimbal. I've got one of the handheld gimbals, but the Steadicam for me for BMX stuff is the best. Really reactive, and it's not
That's
perfect, but I kind of like that. It just doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, that I've never tried doing that. What have I done? I've on one trip I put a camera on a tripod and held the tripod upside down and skated with
Mm.
somebody, and because I that was like kind of a European style of filming that I saw, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
tried that out, and I was like surprised with how it worked, but there's a learning curve on framing while you're shooting with a fisheye and you're holding a steady cam upside down. Like it's there's so much disconnect, the camera's far away from you and you're kind of just like
yeah,
guessing and then trial and error. Like you want to, I don't know, like the pressure of filming a line like that and having somebody land something amazing and then you're just like, oh, sorry, I chopped your head off, like that's
yeah. And you
it's
can like
admirable.
kick the camera as well. If it's
Yeah,
down
I
there, you
believe
can like
it.
kick it with your foot. The best tip though, here's a good tip for any glide cameras out there that I heard. Like when you're running with it, imagine you're running with a glass of water and you're trying not to spill any.
Huh.
So you do this weird, like, you know what I mean? You do this
Yeah.
weird run, but it's, yeah. So I always try and do that.
And then the issue with that is like you're running alongside the rider and all you're hearing is clip, clip, clip your footsteps, and then you got to go
Yeah.
in and post. And I think you've done it. Like you edit
Yeah.
out your footstep sound, right?
I'll try and take out as much as I can. Krusty the Clown behind the camera.
Yeah.
Like feet just coming down. I know. Yeah.
That's got
But
to
it's
be tough because then it's, some clips just sound like weird and naked, like mid line, because it's obvious that you're taking out not saying your work, but some people take out like their footsteps and then it's just like silent. When you do
yeah.
it, I imagine you substitute with some like ambient noise or whatever, like some real, what's that called? Foley? So,
Foley.
Foley,
Yeah,
like
the old Foley.
Foley. Yeah.
Yeah. You
Do
might say
some,
Foley.
yeah.
Dan Foley.
Yeah. A Foley artist, that's,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's the little things
Yeah.
like that that I don't think a lot of people, understand about, what it takes to make a Peter Adam level type video. There's, the
Well, thanks, Bobby.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're welcome. And then I'm sure, how much did you have to leave on the cutting room floor for this Nathan E. Feist video? Like, did you
Yeah.
guys over film it all? Were you editing as he was there? Or
Yeah, a little bit
yeah,
of that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I think that was all the tricks
nice.
because it rained a lot. Like honestly, it was the weather was the major kind of thing. And Nathan, he he was kind of jet lagged as well that trip, because it's kind of hard going because I think his flight got delayed, so we get in day a little bit later. So I think that was everything. But I filmed way more like street scenes and people, and I tried to get as much of that as I could.
Yeah.
But I think as far as tricks goes, that's everything. That was everything. Yeah.
Mm. What
And
was
he
your
was pro,
favorite?
you know.
What was your favorite clip from that? I mean, Nathan's just so good. It's insane. And just like he's like a humble dude, but he just has that fire in him to do crazy shit on his bike. And it's fucking, it's amazing to watch. Like I've
Yeah.
hung out with him maybe once or twice, but yeah, he's incredible. What was your favorite trick of his in that part? What did you like the most?
Yeah. I definitely like the snaggle in the rain. That was cool. But probably the he does the real like hippie jump
Yeah, I love that clip.
with because we'd actually kind of been looking for a spot like that for a few different projects actually, and then we were just riding around that estate and we saw the reel and we're like, oh, the reel's pretty sick. We'll do something in the reel. And then I was like, Nathan, this flat bar over here looks about right for his hippie hop. But what it didn't put in the video and what he had to do, which is crazy, he had to take all his risers out of his stem,
Oh
flip his
shit.
stem upside down, so it was really low. So his handlebars had dropped like this much.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he had to because he tried it and tried and tried it just the way it was, and his handlebar kept clipping, and I swear he like broke his ankle. You know how gnarly he is? He landed on his bike and one of them, his ankle went over, and he was like, dude, need to take these spacers out. And I was like, whatever, whatever you need to do. And he took spacers out and he kept clipping a little bit. Then he had to flip his stem upside down, and then he did it.
Dude, that's wild. Because
Crazy,
like
isn't
when
it?
you go up to that rail to measure it for the hippie jump, was it if with his bike normal as is, it fit under, right? But
Yes.
when you
Like
do the
it's
actual hippie jump,
yeah,
the bike turns and then it's gonna
exactly.
clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It fitted under, but it was like he's got these little flanges on his grips and they were like just touching. It was like
Ah,
And I was like, you know,
Yeah.
so whenever he took all the spacers out and his stem flipped it, his front end was so low, and he was like, dude, can I still do the handrail? And I was like, I don't know. It's all very kind of organic, you know. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, he made it work.
I
It's
love
cool.
hearing that because like you watch these things and it's like you just picture him doing it, you know, within 3 tries and no struggle or whatever because it's Nathan fucking Williams. But that's
Yeah,
yeah, that is crazy that he flipped the stem upside down, took spacers out. I love it. What
yeah.
about the last clip? Was he phased? Was it scary? Did
Oh
he do it first try?
God, that I think I was scared more than him. Like
Yeah.
I don't let anyone know ever, but like I get scared because you know what it's like when you're filming someone, you kind of and you ride, you almost like imagine yourself doing it.
Yep.
Like it's just like
You
I
can
can't
feel
even
the feeling of what that trick would feel like, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like, but that was interesting because we met Alex Donaghy had knee surgery. And I'm pretty good friends with Alex. So we called up to see him one day and he was like, all right, Nathan. This is my Scottish accent, by the way. He goes, all right, Nathan, I got a wee spot for you around the corner. And I was like, all right. So he took us, it was raining that day because, you know, it was raining a lot. And he
Yeah.
took us around the corner and to the spot.
Hmm.
And Nathan just kind of looked at it. And we were all saying, like, is it doable? Like Alex Donaghy was like, I don't know if it's actually physically possible, you know, to like hop over, go into that bank with that speed, and then the reel. And you know what it's like when you're filming, like it's hard to get how close it was, but it was
Yeah.
yeah, you know, you might be able to do it, but then again, you might not. So yeah, and then a few days passed. I think it was rain for a few days, and we kind of were up in that area again. It's like a university area in Glasgow, and he was like, dude, do you want to go check out the gap?
Ooh wee.
And I was like, oh, I was like, well, let's go and look at it. And he like he rolled in the bank from the top. He rolled in the bank like maybe twice, not
Okay.
that many
Yeah.
times,
Just
and
to
kind
kind
of
of
jumped
test out the swerve exit.
speed in a swerve, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he jumped into the bank one time and did a kind of swerve around it. And he literally then got his bike, picked up the stairs, looked at me, just kind of gave me like a nod, went up to the top of the stairs, looked at it like once, you know, give it the old eyeing it up and doing that, and he
Yeah.
disappeared. I was just recording the whole time because
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what's gonna, and he disappeared. I couldn't see him, and then he just appeared, just did it out of there. It was also quiet and silent, you know, it's kind of weird, no grinding or anything,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was
Beautiful.
great. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, Zodi, yeah, yeah.
Was that
Hopefully,
the last clip you filmed or no?
no, I don't think so. No, there's still a couple of days left after that. So
How many days was the contest? 7?
that was my man. It was only like a few weeks
Yeah, I
ago.
know.
What was it? Because I can't remember. Because you fly in, and then I remember other people. Because I only live. The flight for me is 25 minutes
Nice.
from Belfast to Glasgow.
Yeah.
25 minutes. I mean, that never happens. Normally, I'm the guy that's flying
Right.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Um, what was? I think it was 7 days filming. Yeah,
Nice. How
yeah.
does like I'm curious about that. Like what is FICE and what is eFICE contest? Like how does this contest come about? And like who organized it and all that? Like what is, you know, what's the context?
You're asking the wrong person. Seriously, I don't know if it's Feist or Feast.
Feast. Okay.
Is it Feast? I have no idea.
No clue.
Well, here's a story for you because I was chatting to there's a girl Natalie and a French guy David who
Okay.
kind of ran it. Super cool people. And Natalie was like, "Oh, have you ever been to any of our other Feast events?" And the last Feast event I was at was like 2001.
Oh no
So
shit.
like
Yeah.
with and like Jay Miron was there, Taj was there, Ruben was there, Nyquist was there, Asada was there, and I was like, yeah, no, like it was over 20 years ago. So I don't Feast. It's a French contest.
French International Sports Entertainment. That's a wild
Oh,
guess. I just made that up.
oh, maybe. Yeah, that
what
sounds
what does feast stand for?
yeah. Because it used to be just a contest in the south of France, like I'm sure you saw it in like old
Oh,
props.
I was pretty close. International Extreme Sports Festival.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
but that doesn't make sense. That doesn't line up with the letters. That's all out of order. It would be Festival
Hey Bobby, it's
International
hey
Sports
Bobby, they're
Extreme.
French. Who knows? No, I don't know. Uh, but yeah, it's been around. Feast has been around for a long time,
That's
really long
interesting.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at least like I'm gonna say like late 90s. I remember a lot of French hip hop at these events.
Interesting. It's kind of like the French version of, ESPN or X Games type thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think so. Yeah, yeah. Did you ever watch because why I was at that one in 2001, I was filming it for props. There was like
sick.
a remember props passport? You ever see that one?
No, never saw Props Passport.
That's got the feast event in it. And it was me and Stu
Oh,
filming it.
Stu Johnson.
Yeah, so it was us two. That was might have been one of my first paid filming gigs. That.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
So young
yeah.
Peter just meeting Stu's young too then at that point, right? Like,
He's a bit older than me. Yeah, I
yeah.
think Stu.
That's
Um,
when I was looking you up and trying to, figure out questions and stuff. I was like, you got to be the longest filmer in the game. Like, and then I was like, Stu Johnson, like Stu Johnson.
yeah.
And, but I'd say you're probably a little bit more active. Dude, how many videos just don't, obviously it's not going to be accurate, but how many BMX videos do you think you've made over the course of your career? Ballpark.
420. No, I don't.
420.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Good question. I don't really know. Um, no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
Literally no idea. Some of them are like short little things, and
Yeah.
other ones are like 3-year projects.
Yep.
I don't know. As long as they keep coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thousands. Are you
Yeah.
doing anything for yourself, like passion projects on the, like, when you're at home or not on a Feist contest? Oh, speaking of Feist, how much did you guys win?
What is it? 6,000 euro
Boom.
split between two of us. So,
Cool. You guys are both gonna buy Lamborghinis. That's dope. I'm happy for you.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's 3,000 euros. So with the exchange rate, I don't know, taxes.
Yeah, for real. People don't think about that, but you get taxed
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah. Got to do with taxes, what is it? April? Early
Yeah.
April?
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate taxes. I like,
Nightmare.
dude. So when I was working for Sabrosa, I didn't understand what 1099 was,
I
and
heard you talking about this.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I ended up in $15,000 in debt to the IRS and ponied up. I think like 2 or 3 years ago. I was like, all right, and then I learned that it gets forgiven every 7 years. Like,
Right.
there's some weird thing that is like, it comes from the ancient like tradition of jubilee, and in the Jewish culture something, and it has to do with debt, and then every 7 years your debt is forgiven as like some sort of like ritual thing, and that's what it happens with credit cards. And so like if you have a
Oh,
bunch of credit card debt and you just wait 7 years, apparently it goes away. I have no proof on what whether or not
tax
that's true
advice.
or not. Yeah.
Bobby's tax advice. I guess 7-year glitch. Is that, I don't know. Is that where it comes from?
I don't know, dude. It's some ancient thing. I should know it better, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the lesson learned was like you have to save your money. You have to be your own. You have to set it aside immediately. Like as soon as you get it, you're like, not all of that's mine. You have to put it in a different account and like save up to pay taxes and all that. But that's not fun to talk about, dude.
It is not fun to talk about. Let's get on to the next. Yeah, let's talk about dogs.
So,
Yeah.
so this podcast is officially partnered with Digg, and I've
Is
heard
it?
that. Yeah.
Oh.
As of so like we're dropping Kramus on Monday, and that's the first episode that's partnered with Digg. We're going on Digg's YouTube channel and released on all their audio platforms as well as mine too.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. They just reached out. Like Wes McGrath hit me up like, hey, what's your email? And then I had a video chat with Will, and like
Nice.
he was just all about it, and said you guys, Digg's been meaning to do a podcast for a while, and
He
just
asked me to do it, and I was like, nah, man, you got the wrong person. Because honestly, like whenever you hit me up, I was like, I don't really know. And I listened to them. They're really good, but you're really good. Like, and I
thank
was
you.
like,
Yeah,
this will be easy. It's just like a chat.
yeah,
Because I was like,
exactly.
oh, like, what's it gonna be like? And I just listened to the other ones, and I was like, this is sweet, you know. So yeah,
Dope.
no, great job.
Hell yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to try and get better at, like conversation.
Mm,
Like in real life, I'm not sitting and talking to somebody like this for, an hour uninterrupted, like
yeah,
literally ever. Like even
yeah,
on sessions with the boys, like it's just kind of fun joking around type thing. It's not so much like intimate conversation type thing.
yeah,
And I'm learning to like listen and not try and like steer the conversation. It doesn't matter where it goes. Like I have my notes here if I need to go back to it or whatever. But
yeah,
thank you very much. I appreciate the
yeah. No,
I'm surprised that you listen to them. I have the attitude of
yeah.
like nobody's fucking listening to this, but I like doing it.
Everyone's you need more you need some ratings on there though, don't you? Like some like 5-star ratings or something.
Yeah, yeah, something.
It'll get up there.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of messages on Instagram and it feels great. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the origins of Digg.
Oh.
Like, were you
Oh
around
no.
when, like, what? How did Digg start? Were you around for that? And
Nah.
before you go, when I was researching you, 2017, you were named the head of video production for Digg BMX magazine. Is that still
Yeah.
your title?
No. I think
Okay.
that lasted what 6 months. I mean, it was cool. It was like, yeah, all right, cool, yeah. But like, well, as I'll explain, Will and I go way back. Like I'm talking, because did
Like
you read something
childhood.
like, yeah, like
Yeah.
serious childhood,
Yeah.
like, is did you come across my brother by any chance?
I did not. No.
Ricky Adam, the photographer?
No. But the name sounds familiar.
You would know him, yeah. He shot stuff for years for Digg, like 15 years maybe for
Okay.
Digg. He's like the main staff photographer. But
Nice.
he was friend. They grew up like he's older than me,
Mhm.
and him and Will grew up together, kind of, way back, like, well, because he's like,
Will was saying he was like a kind of pro writer in the 80s. Or he didn't
yeah,
call himself a, I don't know. Was Will pro? I forget what he said in our little
yeah, he
meeting.
used to
Yeah.
ride for uh GT.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember it. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Will was like, dude, he was serious. Like, because I say, I was like, I'm a lot younger than Will. Not well, I don't know what age Will is, but yeah, I'm a lot younger. I know he's going to be listening to this. He'd be like, I'm not,
I will.
but it's at least 12 or 13 years. And
Okay.
if someone's like 26 and you're like 12, it's
Yeah.
like a big difference back
Yeah.
then,
For real.
I saw only caught because Will he had like quite a bad injury back in the day, where he like a head injury, and he
Okay.
lost sight in one of his eyes. So that was kind of the
Oh
end.
yeah. Yeah. He told me about that. And then he said riding like that, it's
Yeah, I
you're
know. I hope he doesn't mind me talking about this stuff, but yeah, he had like a quite a bad injury, and that was kind of like he couldn't really ride anymore after that. So I never rode with him. I was too young,
Mhm.
but my brother did. So I never really, and I never rode with my brother either, because didn't want to, you don't want to hang out with your little brother when you're,
Yeah, true.
when
Yeah.
but
Stay home, nerd.
yeah, basically, like he used to go into Will's house and tell me to stay in the car, and I would like stay in the car, like little brother in the car. But I think when I was 18, 17 or 18, that's when I started like, going into Will's house and seeing the magazine back then. It was like 96, 97.
It's
Um,
wild to think about.
it's crazy. Yeah. And it was in Belfast, like it was just coming out of that civil war we we're talking about. And like, not many, like the scene here, it's tiny, like it's always been tiny. It's minuscule, like it will, nowadays there's quite a lot of writers, but back in the 90s, it was like, you know, there was maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say because people, I know my friends will be like, "Ooh," but there was like a handful of riders, like tiny little scene. If you BMX, that was, you know, you were like, there's maybe like five riders, you know.
Yeah.
So to have Digg and to have that big BMX presence when there was no other, nothing else around, it was like, yeah, it was pretty, yeah,
So
pretty,
like
you know,
Dig started as a magazine in
yeah,
your hometown.
yeah, in like 1993, I think.
Yeah. What does that
Yeah,
mean? How do you start a magazine? Like just
dude, you need to get Will on here.
yeah, I know, but
You
he's like,
get-
no, maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Hey,
That's what
next
he
year's not
said.
that
Yeah.
far away. I
Yeah.
know. Um, he would be good though, because I know I don't really know, to be honest. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like he's just done his own thing for decades now.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little bit similar that way, just doing videos for you get into it
Yeah.
and you're into it, you know.
Yeah. What
um,
about photography? Do you fuck around with photography?
nah, that was more my brother,
Yeah.
my older brother. He, yeah, I was always, I mean, really, I got a camera before he got a camera, even though I was younger,
Okay.
because I like rented that one at school a couple of times off these guys. They wanted money for weed, and I was like, "Oh, here's a few quid and a camera." And I remember the camera they lent me, they had their like holiday movie on it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just recording over it. I was just like, they were like in Spain or something. His mum was like some, you know, in the sunlight here. I was like, but yeah, now photography, I do take the odd photo. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it like comes with that because I'm not a photographer, but I've made money
yeah,
as a photographer. Like that people
yeah,
need headshots and stuff. It's like you get
yeah,
the, but like when it would come to setting up flashes, I'm clueless. You know, that's
yeah,
and that's all like that, and that's kind of how it goes. Like you pick one and you get really good at either one. You know,
yeah,
it's hard to be good at both.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and I know I've seen that you've like kind of you bring some images into your videos, like B-roll type thing. Like the one that's popping in my head is like the yellow flower field, and you got AK
Oh yeah, that was
and
the
something in
flag.
there. Yeah, and there's some
Yeah,
photos in that. I love just like Justin Benthian just put out F It All. And did you watch
yeah,
that? Like
just
that
yeah,
style of
Justin.
B-roll with those like photos
Yeah,
sliding back and forth, like mixing
super
it
cool.
together is pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that.
All right, well, you don't know how Dig started, but let's move on to another question I got.
I think it started because he wanted to start it. You know what
That's
I mean? It's
fire.
so
It's
simple as
crazy how
that.
far it's come, you know? Because like,
Yeah, yeah,
I started getting in or being aware of like BMX media maybe 2006. Like I was 16 years
yeah,
old at that point, and you know, like the things were changing right then. It was like
yeah.
the older guys in my scene, like Drew Hasselton and Smoker Dave, and their
Hmm.
entire upbringing was based on magazines and like how important it was to get a or how like a spectacle it would be to be featured in, Ride BMX magazine. You get a photo, and now like it's so crazy to think back because that doesn't happen anymore. The photos are on
Yeah,
Instagram all the time. Now it's like things have changed so much. That was when web videos were starting to come out, Vital BMX, and I remember Josh Betley was one of the first BMX videos or web videos that I ever saw. Do you remember that
yeah.
one?
I was hanging out with Josh actually in Madrid a couple of months ago.
Nice. Hell
So
yeah.
funny, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
funny about
random.
his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on holiday with his wife. Are they married?
I'm not sure if they're married, but yeah, I know.
Yeah, in Madrid, and we were just kicking it, just
Hell
talking about
yeah.
BMX. It was cool. Yeah.
That is very good. I'd love Josh. Or talking to Josh can be really fun. He's one person where I've sat and drink beers and just talk for 3 hours. He's got a very interesting brain.
Yeah. Especially
But
after a few yeah, a few drinks.
yeah, for real. One thing that let's talk about the Batala BCN because that's
Oh yeah.
one of the most influential BMX videos I think of the tens, the 2010s.
Oh, nice, yeah.
What was it like hanging out with baby Chad Curley and young Simo, young AK? Were they
Yeah.
reluctant when you said let's do like a skit type intro? Like that's
Yeah.
something I'm curious about because a lot of writers are like, ew, cringe, I'm not doing that. Like
I
how does that come about? Do you say, guys, I have an idea?
Yeah, it always starts off, guys, have an idea, and then the next line is, it's just gonna be short, really short. Like you won't even notice it. Like just like half a second, and then you reel them in.
Yep.
But I guess Chad, I had met Chad before at the Nike pool event.
Oh yeah, I remember the Nike pool event.
So I met Chad there. So I kind of knew, I'm not saying knew him, but we'd met before. And
Yeah.
I think this was his first trip to continental Europe, so his first trip to Barcelona outside
Yeah.
of the States. And then like Chris Kyle, like I say, I've known him for a long time.
That's cool.
Joris knew him for a long time. Simone, I met him years before as well at
Nice.
that same Rebel Jam with Nathan and Dak in
Okay.
like
Yeah.
2009 or something. He was tiny, but just a little.
Yeah.
And I loved he was from Italy because like there's hardly any riders from Italy,
Yeah.
especially street riders. So Simone and I always had a little bond as well because we were kind of from two like weird places.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of like the same sort of riding and like, he's a lot younger
Oh.
and all, but we always had that kind of,
I
on the
fucking
same
love
page.
Simone. So jealous. I wish I could have met baby Simo. Like just
Dude,
young. He can do all the tricks,
dude,
like
it was
he's a
insane.
phenom.
Yeah, I remember like he was doing like on the vert wall, he's just cruising around. Like no, I don't think anyone had really seen him before, but he's just cruising around vert wall, like like he was doing like nose bump bar, cruising down bar gap ice, just like G turn, little kid.
Yeah.
And then that night, it was like a party, and he just like showed up, like totally, like you can imagine he must have been, I don't know what age he would have been, 14 or 15 or something,
Yeah.
and
Young.
he was wasted, absolutely wasted. And he couldn't really, his English wasn't great, so he's just this little Italian
Yeah.
kid. And
Vaffanculo.
yeah, and he goes, I would die for BMX. I would die for BMX. And I was like, what? And I was like, yeah, me too, me too. And he goes, my t-shirt. And I was like, what about your t-shirt? He just ripped it off. He just ripped it off his body and started swinging it. I would die. And then like disappeared and started dancing again.
Oh my
So
God, I love it. Young
yeah,
Simo.
God, man, you don't even imagine. It's just, yeah.
And then,
And
I
it was,
mean, while we're on the Simone topic, you also filmed one of the most influential Simone videos of all time. But back to the process of getting these boys to do
oh yeah, right.
the skit, you
Yeah,
know?
I don't, it's, I don't really know. I just say I'm gonna do it, and they're like, "All right."
Nice, yeah.
There's not much. There's not much to it, yeah. Because like, I kind of always like a little bit of. I guess it's maybe like older videos that I grew up watching that had like weird little segments and bits of like, I don't want to say acting, but like,
Yeah, skits.
not, yeah, like skits, and I kind
Yeah.
of love it. I think it's hilarious, and
Yeah.
just and then the Nike video, it's like I want to do something kind of different. Jesus. Yeah. Something kind of a little bit different, and
Yeah.
it was like, okay, all the guys are in the apartment, but they were all coming in at different times. So no, everyone wasn't there at the same time.
Oh, I didn't know that. You
Yeah, so
kind of
I had
made
to
it
like,
feel like they were all there at the same time.
yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to
Yeah.
do. So I had to like think of an idea that I could film. I think it was that whole video was like 5 weeks.
No shit. Okay.
So I had like, a week with this crew. They would leave, three more would come in. And then I was like, I kind of had it in my head, like, oh, okay, I could do that with them, shutting that door. 3 weeks later, I could have him opening the door. A week later, I could
Wow.
have him brushing the teeth. And then like a week later, I could have him popping up. So
That's
that's
a
kind of,
lot, dude. That's fire.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah. That's a
yeah.
production. That's amazing. Man. And just like I don't know, Nike was in the BMX world for a while, and so they're doing really dope shit. Like that pool contest, I remember. Like, how much money do you think that would have costed to pull off? But when you got that Nike money,
And then they had the tunnel jam as well. Remember that? The big
Yeah, I do
tunnel.
remember the Tunnel Jam.
Yeah, that was the
Nike
first time I met
6.0.
like Dennis and all. Anderson was over. He was like, I did an interview with him, and I think he might have been 15 at the time.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Dennis. I'm Dennis from California. It's like, who's this
What's up,
guy?
dude?
Yeah. And then he just went nuts,
Yeah.
Crazy.
He's one of the best riders of all time. Like easily
Yeah.
top three, if not, one.
Yeah.
Just how well rounded he is. Like
It's
I saw.
crazy.
All right, so who? I mean, this is totally off the wall, but who do you think's gonna win Video Part of the Year? Did you see the nominations for Nora Cup?
Yeah, come on. It's gonna be Lewis. Come on. The feel of that, the writing, just everything about it was sick.
That's a pretty
Like,
solid guess. But like,
yeah.
then Dennis Asaya is in
Dennis
there.
is, I know.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's a tough year.
Short-term memories. People have short-term. I was months ago.
Yeah,
That might as
true.
well be 10 years ago. But no, it is because I got Fudger sent the list through, and I was like, mulling over it, and I was like, and I had to go with my gut feeling, like,
Yeah,
and like a lot of trips have been on. A lot of guys have put Lewis's video on, like to get them stoked,
because it's
like
amazing.
it's like, yeah. So I went with Lewis, just yeah. And funny because I was listening to Fudger talking about how people make their decisions, and
Hmm.
like, they don't go for the obvious people because everyone likes a little bit of an underdog, but I think Lewis is, yeah.
Yeah, I secretly. I mean, I love them both, but I
I
would love to
know.
see Lewis win, because that video is something else. And Ben, dude, I love
Yeah,
that guy. I've never met him in real life, but like just
yeah.
his whole presence just made like the first like 1 second of our interview is just him like going, ha. It's just like I fucking love this kid, man. He's amazing. That's a
I know.
powerful combo.
Yeah, I know. Bloody Aussies, mate.
Yeah.
Those confident Australians, I know. They're gonna
Yep.
take over the world. They're all what you call it. What do you call not
Sick cunts.
yeah. They're all criminals from England,
Oh
back
yeah,
in the
yeah,
day.
yeah. Yeah, the
The shit
origin.
over.
Yeah, they're all descendants of criminals, and that's maybe that's
Yeah.
why they're so fucking nuts. Have you seen
Savage. Yeah.
Charles Troy Big Salad? He just put out a full length called "Tear the Club Up." You seen that?
Oh, watch that. Yeah, funny.
Yeah,
Watch that with them because it was with Calvin Kosovich there last week, and he had a
nice.
link. So good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Australians are built different. Like every single full video that I've seen from Australia is just absolutely savage rails, and just
Always been that way. It's
yeah,
crazy. There's a video you need. Oh my, right. You need to look this up. It's called The Drain Kids.
the Dream Kids.
A crew called The Drain Kids.
Oh,
They're from
Drain,
Brisbane.
Drain.
Drain.
Drain. There you go. Nice accent.
Drain, dude.
Drain.
It
The Drain
is.
Kids.
Drain Kids, and they're from Brisbane.
Okay.
And there's actually, you might know, there's a photographer, and on Instagram it's Sleepers BMX.
Oh,
He
I
takes
got
a
it.
lot of photos. Like he's really good friends with Lewis. Takes a lot of photos of him. Took like a cover of Digg recently, but he
Sick.
made it. But back in like 2001,
No shit.
and
Wow.
whenever that video came out, I remember like because it got sent to Digg. This is another thing. Every video ever made got sent to Digg, for like reviews and stuff.
Yeah,
So I just soaked it up. I was like, I used to go around and just grab all the VHS
that's
and watch
amazing.
them. So yeah, the Drain Kids video came out, and there's like a guy in there called John Comino, which is the sleeper dude's older brother. He was a whole other level. The Aussie dude.
Yeah.
One hand X up grind bar spin out of handrails, like
Shit.
switch ices, like back in the I remember watching it at the
Yeah,
time,
for 2001, that's mind blowing. Like even for
and
now, that's really good.
yeah, and he just like he did this one hand X up grind around this like curved hubba. It was unreal. Like,
That does sound unreal. I don't think I've seen one-handed X up
nah,
grinds.
and he was so like, I don't even think he ever got sponsored or anything. He's just in this video. And then I went over there around that time and stayed with those guys. So I rode with them, and I was just like, these guys are like insane.
Yeah.
And then then everyone just got jobs, and no, like,
Yeah,
yeah. But look up our video like that.
I
Yeah,
will. That speaking of getting jobs, that reminds me of like so one of the first videos that like shaped my BMX taste was Voices, and then
oh yeah.
Tomorrow We Work, and then they kept to their word. It seems like Tomorrow We Work came out, and then nothing else from Joe Cox and Dan Cox.
Yeah.
Like, do you know? I think I've talked about this before, maybe with somebody else, but I forget already. Like, do you know
Yeah.
what Joe Cox is up to? Did you
I
ever meet him?
my brother knew him because my brother took loads of photos of him for Digg.
Yes.
So around that whole voices era, my brother was right in there. He lived in England, lived like right near all those guys.
Yeah.
You would know his photos, like, but Joe, Dan Cox, his brother.
Yeah.
He does live cam every year at Battle of Hastings.
Really?
So I see Dan around every now and again, but Joe, I think I have no idea. I think he had kids, and I'm not
Good for
sure what he
him.
does for
Yeah.
work or anything, but yeah. But yeah, I remember that video came out too, and it was just
Dude.
like,
It was
yes.
Joe Cox, like super talented writer, but like the videos he put together were so well done that it was like it's
Yeah.
still like, and also I think it's just you're at that impressionable age, and but like I'm watching Voices on repeat and Animal Can I
Yeah.
Eat on repeat, and when
Yeah.
Tomorrow We Work came out, like that's when I was like, okay, I'm getting a free coaster. I have to do it. Dan's part in that was just like mwah, beautiful.
Yeah.
And then he had
Incredible.
this weird style. I don't know if you remember it, but they did, I don't know, a skate park edit. Joe Cox put together a skate park edit, and
Mhm.
it was intentionally washed out. Like everything was overexposed. Does that ring a bell?
Is that the outdoor concrete park in Sheffield?
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
definitely outdoors, but I was just like, this,
Yeah.
it's such a unique look. It's like,
Got like a
you
hip
know,
in the middle. And
misty. It's misty. I don't even remember the tricks. I just remember the way it looked. Like it was foggy, misty, overexposed on purpose. And I was like, this is,
yeah.
there's so many different ways you can go in video. So,
Yeah.
on that note, where have you drawn inspiration from for your filming and editing? Like, who's your favorite filmer?
Well, it's gotta be, well, sort of, uh well, Dave Parrick. Do you know Dave Parrick?
Yeah, I know the name. I'm
Etney
I'm like
Dave. You
generation after him, so
after that, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But dudes I've always liked are like, it's it's interesting you said always focus on the writing, and there's kind of bits in between, but like that's got to be the main thing,
Uh-huh.
I really like Dave Sarby.
Yes. It's
He,
brilliant.
so
Yeah.
Dave and I kind of came up like similar, like because he lived in Scotland, so I would go and ride his trails, and like he's been making videos. Almost we're sort of on the same, we're almost the same age.
Yeah.
We used to make little scene videos and like swap them with each other. I would go over and ride his trails, go over and ride street with him through the years. But of course, he's always had BSD as a kind of foundation for all his work, whether I sort of flew out sort of all over the place.
Yeah.
So I've always liked Dave's stuff.
I loved his
Um,
stuff. He similar to you, like will come up with a creative theme and then execute, and his seem elaborate sometimes, like trying to think
yeah.
of an example, but yeah.
The VX edit where Alex, where it comes out of the TV,
Yeah, yeah.
comes out of the TV, and he hops
Yeah.
over the TV. I'm just like, yeah, Dave, he's a little more finesse than myself with the After Effects. I'm not
That
too
stuff is
good at
hard,
it.
man. After Effects
Yeah, I
is
know
not
it's
easy.
a whole other thing, isn't it? But
Hmm.
he's really good at like graphic design, After Effects. Like he designs skate parks as well. He's just really good at all
No
that stuff.
shit.
But
What about
yeah,
you? Can you do graphics?
mm, no, no, not really. No,
Dude, me
I
neither.
yeah, nah. The feast video, my nephew did them.
Nice.
Yeah,
Hell
just
yeah.
even like because I have one of my really good friends I grew up with riding here. He's a graphic designer,
Yeah.
and he does like quite high end stuff. And he actually he does Digg when it comes out every
Okay.
year. He designs that whole magazine. He's done the last few issues of Endless as well.
Beautiful.
So he's like in there, he's like graphic design. And I look at him and look at what he does. And like he's so into like fonts when fonts are coming out,
Yeah.
and he sort of like just shows me I have no clue. I have zero clue about
Yeah.
graphics. So if I just kind of, yeah,
It's
I
a
just,
weird art
it's,
form. Like,
yeah,
you take it for granted because you just look at something and you're like, oh, that looks good. But then, like, what goes
yeah,
into actually making that happen is kind of a trip. Like,
yeah,
matching fonts to complement each other, and then
yeah,
spacing, using negative space. Like, I know all these terms, but when it comes to actually putting something
yeah.
together, I'm like, I don't know, dude. Uh,
Yeah, I'm the same. And you can't, when you're like a, you know what it's like when you're a one man production, you have to like come up with the idea, film it, edit it, do the sound, do the colors, and then
Yep.
you're like titles, After Effects, all this stuff, and
Yeah.
you're just like, it's too much, you know.
It's a
So
lot.
some things have to take a back seat, and for me, yeah, it's graphics and stuff. I get
Yeah.
someone else to do them.
My default is I just say my cop out is like less is more. I'm a minimalist.
Yeah, yeah. Just have it pop up on screen and
Yeah,
just disappear again.
just text over a black screen. That's it. That's all we need. That's what I got away with that working for Brosa for a long time.
Yeah,
Keep it simple. So when
yeah.
you mentioned After Effects, so you work in Adobe Suite? Is that what you use? Adobe Premiere Pro to edit?
No, Final Cut.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
The Final
Just
Cut X, right?
simple. Yeah, drop it
Yeah.
in there. Away you go. Yeah.
It's
Not
kind
really
of
like
feels like,
that.
what did you start on? Did you ever edit on Premiere, or were you Final Cut 7 type?
No, I started on VHS to VHS.
That's crazy to think.
Like it was literally this
Physically
huge,
cutting or no?
yeah, like this huge, like these huge VHS decks, and you could like, it was quite sophisticated, but at the same time not. But you could like mark in the exact frame and
Okay.
then mark out, and then it would record to the other tape. But
Trippy.
you had no audio, so you had to like, I had a mini disc player, so I had a mini disc player, and I would hit play and then hit play at the same time, make sure the song was matching up, and then put the next clip in, and then you couldn't change anything. So
Dude.
once the clips were in the tape, you couldn't go back and lift one out. And so if the song was off a little bit, you'd like, oh shit, like put a shorter clip in and then build it back up again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So
Huh.
like and that would have been like, I mean, it was, you know, it was the late 90s
Yeah.
ish, you know, it wasn't like crazy long ago, 20 years, you know,
Dude, how
ish.
far technology has come since then,
Yeah, like
you
it's
know?
insane. And then, yeah, then I went on to iMovie. When I,
Nice. Nice.
like this would have been 2004, maybe. Got a laptop with iMovie, and it was like,
Okay.
everyone thinks it's like, oh, it's just iMovie. But at the time, moving from cutting VHS tape to iMovie, we can just drag a clip, drop it, get the song,
Yeah, it's
go back
magical.
to it.
Yeah.
Magic, absolutely. I was just like, oh my, like
So does that
incredible.
mean you edited the Nike Battle at BCN on iMovie?
No,
Oh.
no, that went iMovie, and then it went Final Cut Pro. Yeah, I guess 7 in like
Yeah.
2008, maybe.
Yep. That's what
Maybe.
I first got introduced to video editing on was Final Cut 7 and I fell in love
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, it's great.
And then
And
they
then using
changed it to
that,
be Final Cut X and I hated it. And I was like, all right, Premiere Pro it is,
yeah,
dude.
I was the same, you know, I was exactly the same. And then I used Premiere for like, I don't know, maybe a week. And then I was like, then I kept looking up tutorials on X. And I was like, God, this is, you can do everything in this. You can do it. It's just completely different.
Yeah.
And once you learn how to use it, it's so easy, it's so intuitive, and you just drop things in. And
That's what I've heard. Like it's intuitive
yeah,
and just natural and
going
but
from 7 to it's a bit of a weird leap, but
yeah,
yeah,
it's like learning a new language. Like all the cuz like you get
yeah,
so used to all your keyboard shortcuts like I'm
yeah,
switching to pointer tool and all this stuff. So like people have
yeah,
edited or watched me edit over my shoulder and they're like, damn, you're fast. And it's like, because it's a thing that you practice and do forever. But
yeah,
then if you put me in a DaVinci Resolve right now, I would be like, what the fuck? I don't, I have no idea. But
yeah.
I'm hearing that's what the industry standard is right now. Like outside of the BMX world is DaVinci Resolve because of the built-in color grading and all that.
I have a friend actually, he does color grading on a lot of movies and stuff, and he's DaVinci
Nice.
Resolve guy, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen him at work, and it's just like
It's a whole nother
alien
level, dude.
alien spaceship, you know, just this thing
Yeah.
set up. I'm
Yeah.
just like, all right, well, see you later. You know, like I'm gonna do a little BMX video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
So,
shoot your shit flat, do you? Or do you shoot like do you use a picture profile when you shoot? Let's talk
yeah.
about your gear. What like
Oh God. Yeah.
the most recent thing for Nathan, what did you use to film that? And then you shot it flat, is that what you said? So that you
PRV
can
900.
It's a good look. Did you do
I
that
wish.
for no, actually let's go to the Corey Martinez's X Games part because that theme was so fucking sick.
Oh, the
The
VHS.
transition in the beginning, and then you had
Yeah.
him. So how did you do that? What, tell me, was it an actual old clip or did you recreate an old
No,
clip?
that's all After Effects.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
I bought.
beautifully done.
Because funny, because Stu, I don't want to throw. Well, because Stu Johnson was like, dude, like, you can't use old footage. You have to use stuff you've shot in the last like 6 months.
Ah, nice.
I was like, no, 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 Stu, this is all new footage. Like we shot this last week. And he was like, oh, it's incredible. And I was like, yeah, it's just like,
Yes.
because I was staying with Corey in Nashville. And I had this idea, because it's like he kind of transitions through the ages and from square one to
Yeah.
like X Games, it was kind of supposed to be.
Yep.
And I was like, right, Corey, we need to go back. We need to go back to Alabama. We need to go back.
Sick.
So we drove from Nashville to like Decatur, the little town in Alabama where he grew
Yeah.
up, and filmed all that stuff in Decatur, like his little hometown. And I
Nice.
was like, I was like, Corey, it has to be against this like metal background and like where you grew up. And we got like one of his friends, I forget his name, but he had like an old bike from that era. So we like got duct tape and duct taped up the seat, went to like a charity shop, and I bought like an old a vest for him and old combats. And I was
Dude.
like, right, this is got him a cap on backwards, dressed him up, and got him against the shutter. And I was like, dude, this is like pretty accurate. This is like,
Yeah.
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 And then shot it all on the camera and then made it look all VHS afterwards.
Okay, because I thought maybe you got old school camera to shoot that on. That was really well done. The After
Well, you
Effects to make
see,
it look it.
I would have done that because I like using the real thing, and I have plenty of old cameras, but um, with the old PAL NTSC,
Okay.
I didn't have an old PAL video camera or an
Yeah.
old NTSC because mine are all PAL,
Yeah.
so
Because you're
I
from
couldn't use
Europe,
them.
right?
Yeah, European. What's the old joke? European? No, I'm just
Europe
standing.
band. So what is PAL NTSC? Do you know the like national?
It's just to do with the amount of lines.
I don't even know. I've
Yeah, I don't
been
even know
doing
why
it for
they.
a long time and I have no clue.
Yeah, it's just to do with the amount of lines. You guys have more lines.
I wonder the origin. It has to be from like broadcast television or something.
Yeah,
But
I
anyway,
have. I've looked it up in the past. I know it like PAL stands for something, and NTS it stand for
yeah.
different things. But
Neither of us know.
no, no idea. I did know, but my head's like a sieve. So
Dude, same here. My memory is shit. Like I've had guests on where I'm like, okay, how did we meet again? Please
we
remind me
haven't
of the
met though,
story.
have we? We never
No,
met.
you and I have never met, but I
Right.
just know who you are from everything you've done. It's crazy. So we were talking about your gear.
Oh yeah, gear. All the gear, no idea. That's what they say.
Yeah. What are you what are you
What do I
using lately?
have? I bought a new camera recently, actually. It splashed out because I had the FS5 for a long time.
FS5.
The Sony, like
Okay.
box. I got that when it first came out. It was just out. And I,
FS or X?
FS?
FS
FS5?
FS.
You should put a disclaimer. I am pretty bad at this stuff.
Oh, okay. I see it. Yeah, yeah. It looks like
FS5, is that right?
yeah, FS5, yeah.
Yeah. So I bought that. When did they come out? 2015, maybe?
I don't know. Let's yeah, good guess. Yeah, I'm
20,
seeing reviews from 2015, so yeah, that's
yeah.
about it. Yeah.
So I got that when it just came out, and I was like, yes, it had the rock. It had like a rocker on it.
Yeah.
Bought like a servo zoom lens, so you could like
Yep. Get the
getting
feel of a
into.
camcorder.
I kind of went from camcorder to DSLR, and you know what they're like. You can't
Yeah.
zoom, and then it was a bit. So this thing came out, and it was like the perfect combination.
Yep.
Put the zoom lens on, and then put your fisheye on the same camera. So I got that, and then I had that for years, and then it was kind of getting a bit old. It was couldn't film 4K. It was only 1080, so I bought a Shogun Inferno. You know those monitors,
Shogun. Yeah.
external
Yeah,
monitors,
yeah.
for the SDI,
Yep.
and I used that. I
And
actually
that
got that
allows you
off
to like record in RAW, right? Like just
raw 4K, slow
yeah.
motion, all that jazz. Yeah,
I've
and
never tried that. How is it hard to get
slow
that all
motion.
set up? No, just like to use the external recorder on
Well, this is what I was going to say. So I had the FS5. It was really cool. I was like, it was kind of light. Then I got the monitor, and I just didn't like it. It was like batteries and kind of,
it's
you
a
get this
clunky.
set it up, kind of
Yeah.
clunky. So then the Sony FX3 came out recently. That's tiny. Does like
Yes.
4K. It does
The
basically the same as the FS5, the monitor setup, but even better.
yeah. You said
I bought
FX3, right?
FX3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's the
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah. So I bought that in March, just March
Of
there when
this
it was
year?
over. Yeah,
Hell
I
yeah.
bought it in California because it's a lot cheaper there.
Really? That's
Yeah,
surprising that it's
dude,
cheaper.
cameras in the States are like saved me like £1,000
No shit.
easy. Yeah, so
Huh.
I bought whenever I was filming the monster video with Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I got that. And so it was Jordan, Sam Jones, and Alex Donaghy again. And I was like, guys, we need to go to the camera store today at some point. And they were like, yeah, yeah, no, that's cool. Let's have a beach day. Let's go to the beach. And I haven't been to the beach. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, yeah, let's go to the camera store. So I went to the camera store, bought the brand new camera, and then I didn't want to leave it in the car, so I brought it to the beach, and I was like, kind of excited. I wanted to open it.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, I'm going to open this brand new camera on the beach. And Alex and I were just laughing at me. But it wasn't windy or anything. So yeah, I unboxed my brand new camera on the beach.
You like living life on the edge, Peter.
But it was fine. Yeah.
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 I love that. And that's kind of the attitude you have to have. It's like a tool. Fuck it, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I always think. And you know what? I'll get another one in a few years when something else comes out. You can't
yeah.
be too precious. So yeah, I got FX3. I got my Metabones adapter with the Canon.
Yeah.
Canon, what was it, 8 to 15?
8 to 15, the industry standard. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
I got to get one of those.
I only got that quite recently though as well. I only got that. I was using like a Tamron before that for years.
Okay. And you got away with it. Like, I bought a cheap fisheye once and started it HD fisheye, and it gave me the craziest like flares from lights. Like it looked like aliens were attacking every time like you filmed and there was a street light on the corner. You just can't go cheap if you're gonna get a fisheye for professional videography. Do you have your shit all kitted out? Do you rock a cage? I've been talking a lot of shit about cages lately, camera cages.
No
Nice.
cage.
Low
No
key.
cage.
My man.
No cage, yeah. It's just more stuff in your bag. And
yeah.
like most of my trips are in Europe, you know, and you're cycling around cities all day, you know, you're just cycling, like covering. I remember I turned my Strava on and like on a London trip, and we'd done like 30 miles, you know, in a day riding street. And I was like, geez, so the lighter, I just like to keep it kind of light, kind of.
Yes.
Just
I'm with you. Yes.
And then I found when I had the monitor set up and the big camera, I like missed a lot of stuff because it was like the time you set it up and
right. Yeah.
Like being a bit more on the.
You need something to just quick draw. Yeah. Quick draw McGraw.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you got the FX3 and the Metabones to the 8 to 15 fisheye.
Yeah, and then I've got a Sony 50mm with macro.
Nice.
And then I've got another Sony lens. What is it? Like 17 to 35 or something? Kind of wide.
Yeah.
It's good for riding around cities and getting shots.
Yeah.
Like you just click that on and you get loads of that. And then I've got 70 to 200.
That's the best lens. I love that lens. The 70 to 200.
Yeah, it's nice.
Is that what you're rocking for like long lens? Are you doing the zoom like that? Or
no,
do you have a servo one?
Servo lens, which is they're like $3,000 or something. They're expensive, you know.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like having a really good video camera in your bag when you have that lens.
Yeah.
You put the lens on, and then with the FX3, you have there's like it's not as good, but it's pretty good. It's got like a little rocker ring you can zoom with.
Oh no shit!
On the camera.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's what made me.
And that connects to the lens.
Yeah, it connects to the servo lens. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah, that's like. Yeah, when I got that, when I saw that on the camera, I was like, yeah, I'll get this one.
Did I see? So there's a picture of you in some article. You're standing with Corey, and you have your kitted out camera. It's like a big beast looking setup. And I tried to like zoom in and look at what camera is within it. Is it an A7S III? Do you have a like you have double angles? What's your second angle camera? Another FX3 or no?
A7 III.
A7 III.
I
Cool.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's A7 III. I
Dope.
want to
Yeah.
upgrade that. Love to get another FX3. So there's two
Yeah.
the same, but
Identical one.
they're they're thousands. They are
Yeah.
thousands
It's
of
really
dollars.
expensive.
But it's like, it's a little second angle. The other one's still, it looks good.
It
So,
gets the job done. Yeah.
and the
There's
picture
nothing.
profiles match
Yeah.
up perfectly.
That's
So
the hardest part is when, you're using even within the same brand, like a shoot, like my webcam's my old A7S II. I have an A7S III. When I
uh,
brought those together on a shoot for an interview, matching up the skin tones on it, I was like, Jesus Christ! Like,
yeah,
it's hard to match. So it's good. It's nice to have the same thing. Are you shooting
yeah,
at like, for example, for this contest with Nathan? Are you shooting at maximum camera capabilities, like 4K, 60 frames per
yeah,
second, the whole thing?
yeah. That camera does 120 frames a second as well.
Damn, dope.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Oh,
Yeah, crank it up there because I don't know. When I used the FS5 with the recorder, the external recorder, the files on that were insane.
yeah,
So the FX3, the files are quite small. Yeah, you
nice.
can
So
just
you're used to dealing with massive files.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
reading that you backed up your footage for Still United on five different 5 terabyte drives.
Five, that was three
Yeah.
times. It was three times. No, it's three times. Yeah, because I mean, think about it. All
Yeah,
that traveling, all that money, all that.
dude.
Imagine you're like the one filler. Because like Ian didn't really like ask me how I was doing all this stuff, and imagine you had it on one drive, and then you dropped it,
Yeah,
and you're like,
fucked.
oh, sorry, Ian, like all that. So I
Yeah.
had two drives in the house, and then I kept another drive at another person's house in case my house got broken into. I was so
Wow.
paranoid.
Yeah,
Like
that's amazing. That's really smart.
like when you're filming for like 3 years, I don't even know. I have no idea about how much it costs, but like all that travel, paying the guys, Airbnbs, like I don't know, hundreds of thousands. I don't know,
Yeah, over a
but
hundred
like
grand at least. Yeah,
yeah. So like for a cheap hard drive for like 80 quid,
yeah,
you know, back it up.
smart. I
Yeah.
need to do more of that. I had a nightmare happen. I went to California to visit my girlfriend, and I'm on a Greyhound bus, and I brought my hard drive, which is I was working for Sabrosa at the time, and I forget, exactly what projects were on it, but
Mhm.
we stop halfway on the way back home. We all get off the bus, and the bus driver's like, "Okay, yeah, go take a bathroom break. We'll be here for 15 minutes." And
Mhm.
then I sprinted across the street to a burrito spot so I could poop in peace. And I left my bag on the bus, which was, stupid.
Uh-oh.
And
Greyhound.
yeah, and then they left like within 2 minutes because the gas station right there was closed. So I'm stranded in the
Oh,
desert. My
oh.
bag's on the bus. This is like just nightmare.
Ooh.
And so I spent the night at this gas station and waited for the next Greyhound to hop on. Yeah, that's it's and then just like calling,
Did you,
I think it was Ryan Scher, like, hey man, I just lost all whatever footage. I forget exactly what footage I
you didn't
lost,
get it
but
back? No, you didn't.
yeah.
No one
So I
handed
was
it in
filming
to
on
you?
tapes though. So like I had
Yeah.
tapes back home. So I just
Yeah.
recaptured a whole bunch of tapes and
Oh,
it all kind
okay.
of worked out. Like I didn't ruin anything, but like I gave myself, 50 hours of work to do, which that's just nightmare shit.
You
I
didn't get
still
it
have
back,
some hard
no?
drives. No, I never got it back.
Jeez.
I still have some hard drives that, because so I told my sister when this happened, like go to the Greyhound station, see if you can get access to this bus and try and find my backpack. But like somebody on that bus like was like, oh, swoop for free,
Yeah.
and definitely just went home. But yeah,
Jeez, I know. It's
I
scary
still have
stuff.
hard drives that are like old and broken that have shit on them, and I know that there's data recovery places that you can send them to and get all the files.
Yeah.
And one of these days, I'll throw down and just see what's on these mystery hard drives of mine.
Who was who was talking about that on one of your other podcasts?
It's all a
Oh, was it
blur.
Matt Miller? Matt
Yeah,
Miller had to go and
yeah.
get he spent like $1,000 or something on it.
On
Getting
a
it
oh yeah, like a
over.
where it uploads to the cloud and it's a crazy deck
Didn't he have to
setup.
like yeah, didn't he have to like he had to send a hard drive off? His like crashed or something.
Yep, that's expensive. It might have been him. I don't know who it was, but
Pretty
yeah,
sure it
that
was
shit
Matt
happens,
Miller.
man.
Yeah.
Um, I hate that.
Yeah, I know, it
Makes
stressed
my
me
heart
out.
hurt.
I've never deleted a single clip in my life. I've
Wow, good for
I've
you.
got So many hard drives in my little room. I'd say office, but it's not. In my
How's
room.
your how's your organization of all that? Do you like Sharpie the date, and how do you like
I
organize your shit?
Yeah. Once I get a big hard drive, I just get a permanent marker and just write on the hard drive what's on it.
Nice.
Just write on it. Yeah. And then just
That comes from marking mini DV tapes,
comes from marking
writing what's on it.
VHS
Yeah,
tapes.
yeah,
Yeah.
VHS tape.
But I was like, how am I gonna find what's on this? And then I was like, I'll just write on it, like it's kind of idiot
Smart.
proof.
Yeah, for real. Idiot proof. I love it. What is in the future for you? What's coming up? Anything coming up?
What is
Anything
coming up?
exciting? Like what was this SF trip about?
Oh yeah, cinema part with Nathan.
Oh, sick.
So we got another trip coming up. Yeah, probably October.
Was that a trip just like exclusively for Nathan? Was it a
Uh,
group of you guys or just you?
yeah, Corey was there as well, getting a
Cool.
couple of things, a couple of little guest clips, and Dak was there with Calvin filming for his Vans part.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
so it was
I love
good.
when
Yeah,
shit's in the works, Like, yay,
yeah,
we
I
got stuff to
know
look forward
it's
to.
good. I know, yeah. And then I've got Battle of Hastings next week.
Nice.
Should be good.
Dude, yeah, Battle of Hastings is going to be a fun contest and that Nord Cup happening.
Yeah,
Are you
at it, yeah.
are you covering Battle of Hastings or just
Yeah.
attending to hang out? Because filming a contest, man, that's a whole
Yeah,
nother thing. Is that what you're doing?
filming
Yeah.
for the Claw for Monster, yeah, the Monster.
Well, good, man.
Uh,
That's a good gig.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like Jordan, Felix, like
Yeah.
who else? Peraza.
Is that how it works for Monster? They just want coverage of their riders? So
Yeah,
you just get to lock in on Kevin and watch him
yeah,
do flare whips to fakie over a spine, dude. Jesus, so
yeah.
good.
Lewis, I guess Lewis will be there too.
Sick. Yeah.
So yeah, once a Red Bull rider drops in, just hit that pause button.
Yeah.
Grab
That's
it.
like in the contract. There will be no filming
Yeah.
of Red Bull logos anywhere. I'm so happy for all the dudes that get energy drink sponsors, because that's outside of BMX money coming into BMX. And that's very rare. And I'm happy for everybody there. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's dope.
Yeah, that'll be good. So so that'll take me up to middle of October.
Yeah.
And then something. I don't really plan too far ahead.
Nice. Just flying by the seat of your pants.
Flying, yeah, for the last 7 years. Yeah.
What's your life like? Do you have a girlfriend or kids or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girlfriend, dog, house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Good for you.
So I guess, my girlfriend and I have been together for 21 years, maybe.
Whoa, I was not expecting 21 years.
Long time. She lent me the money to buy my first proper camera, TRV 900.
Damn, day one.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Week one. Yeah. I was like, oh, all right.
And she's cool with all the travel? I found the traveling and the BMX was like a stress on my young, stupid relationships.
Gotcha. I know. Yeah. It's almost the opposite. Because I've only really been filming full, as a job since 2010.
Okay.
2011. And before that, I had so many jobs. It's insane. I was a mailman, worked in an office, coleslaw factory, Burger King, McDonald's.
Did you say coleslaw factory?
Coleslaw factory, yeah.
What?
The amount of jobs I've had is just, and then yeah.
Just real quick before we go on to the girlfriend, what did you do in the coleslaw factory?
Made coleslaw. No, it was it was kind of like gourmet. So you put these big rubber gloves on, big, over the shoulder ones. And you graded I don't know, I forget the ratio, but there's a ratio, maybe 5 cabbages and then 1 carrot, just for a bit of color. And you scoop the mayonnaise into these big metal bins and mix it manually with your arms,
Dude.
I know. And then there was they did Hawaiian coleslaw, so there was pineapple in there, and they did a curry coleslaw, so there's raisins and curry powder in there. It's gourmet. But
I'm
again,
picturing
these
the
are all.
smell of coming home from a day of working in the coleslaw factory, dude.
But this was all like at the time it was just to go on BMX trips,
Yeah.
just to pay to go away, to work a job for 6 months, save up, go
Yep.
away for a few months, another job, boom, boom, boom.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I
That's the
got
best
through
way
it.
to do it.
Yeah,
I've met
yeah,
a lot of people who come to Arizona as their destination for their BMX trip, and I love that.
yeah,
It's so sick.
yeah.
Um, how'd you meet your girlfriend? You were 21 years old when you guys met.
Yeah,
What'd you
yeah.
say? Tinder didn't exist back then.
It certainly did not.
Yeah.
It was kind of a mixture of things. It was like, because she's oh, well, here's something that's funny I've picked up on in your podcasts. So she's an artist, like a painter,
Okay.
like oil on canvas.
Dope.
And you're always talking about painting a picture, and you can never remember the word for the
For the the palette.
palette. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it. You got it. I was listening, going, "It's a palette.
It's a fucking palette bump.
So yeah, it's a palette. But yeah, no. So she went to art college in the city, and there was a spot across the road, and I was like, I've actually made a documentary about this spot for a skate website, like a
Sick.
skate magazine. This spot was like, it's kind of what I grew up riding. It was like ledges, like small ledges, big ledges. It was like, if it wasn't in Ireland, if it was somewhere in the States, it would be like,
The most
it was
blown out spot.
like Love
Yeah.
Park or something. It was legendary. So good. Like hubs downstairs, banks. It was like, and
What
there's
kid?
the
What's
mall.
that documentary called?
I think it's called, well, oh, sorry, we got what's it called? Full Circle.
Full Circle.
And if you just look up like St. Anne's, the spot's called St. Anne's.
Sundance. Spell it.
ST and then Annes, ANNES.
AN.
N.
Okay, got it.
ANNES.
I feel pretty slow right now.
It does. No, it's fine. I know I'm used to it. I go into a sandwich shop there and try and order sandwiches, and it's like, I'm speaking English, like, But yeah, so anyway, I rode that spot, and she was the art college, and I would kind of always see her walking around, and then she was like a friend of a friend, and then we kind of
Nice.
Work my way in there.
Do you remember like the first time asking her out?
Yeah, she said no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I was just like a sweaty little Bmxer. Yeah. Yeah.
I love those stories where it's like, so you ask and then you get shut down, but then like you ask again and you ask again and you ask again, and then you're married forever, like
yeah
it's romantic.
but she helped me a lot with like kind of just even the thought of making BMX videos.
Sick.
It was like so alien. It was like, what it's not even like doing the Nike stuff. I always thought, oh, I'll do this video and then I'll go back and get a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't exist. And then Lisa was like, well, I paint pictures for a living, like it's stupid. Like,
yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can make, yeah. And then it sort of just kept going.
Fuck yeah.
And then all that tax stuff, she taught me everything with taxes. I had no idea.
Nice.
She had been self-employed for, years before I was. So
shout out to Lisa. The whole BMX community thanks Lisa for getting you to.
Lisa. A lot of BMXers have stayed at our house. A lot of BMXers know Lisa.
Nice.
Yeah.
We love Lisa.
Yeah.
Well, I was lurking your Instagram. I saw some outside work. I was gonna ask if you do outside video work outside of BMX. And if you have, like, what's your favorite thing, and what's the most money you've ever charged for a project?
I know you love talking money, Bobby.
I don't. Yeah, I do.
I'm curious about it. None of your business. What I'm just kidding. It's I do stuff. I've always done. I sort of have to be like, I don't really do that much stuff out of BMX, to be honest. Really, like maybe 2 or 3 things a year. Maybe I don't know. Depends.
Yeah.
Because what it's like. A lot of the jobs are like pay more, but they're like not as. I've worked enough like crap jobs,
It's not
but they don't,
fulfilling.
yeah, they don't just want to do it just like, oh, go get some money, you know. So because BMX trip, like you're excited and it's like, all right, let's do
Yeah.
this. But other video stuff, I've done stuff for like production companies, and I find it like some of it just soul destroying. I'm just like, I prefer to be back in a coleslaw factory. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but then on the other flip side, I've done stuff for other production companies, um, and all these jobs have always been through BMX, like whether they've seen my stuff or like someone who works at it is a BMXer and have asked me to do stuff.
Okay.
So I've done stuff the last few years for like a kind of outdoor kind of company. Like, so it's pretty cool. You go to like, went to Albania.
Sick.
Not actually out yet. So yeah, you go to Albania for a week and just like film like guys climbing mountains and reviewing like, jacket reviews like Patagonia,
Yeah,
like
but you're
talking
out
about
in nature and shit. That's awesome.
cool. But
Yeah.
it's a lot like BMX because it was quite natural. You just put a mic on them and you're just walking with them, like, and they're like, "This
Yep.
jacket, it's just started raining." The hoods go up, and so that was cool.
I
And
love
yeah,
that.
but yeah, bits and bobs, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Well, like the money thing, so when I was starting my freelance work, I had no clue how to value myself. And so like that's why
Yeah,
I love talking about it, because like maybe somebody's out there who can film
yeah,
and it's charging, because like when I first started, I was just like, yeah, day rate 200, and then let's see what
which
we
is
can
like
do. And
nothing
it's
sometimes.
really
Yeah,
nothing. And I
yeah,
overworked myself, but like through that hustle of, I was doing that for people, and then that made me meet people who, like, to their uh detriment, not detriment, they were like, dude, you're undervaluing yourself. Here's what
yeah,
you should do: charge this and
yeah,
this and this. And I learned, like, building up to a day rate with limitations and all that. Like, if I
yeah,
was to say, Peter, let me hire you to come film this contest, what's your day rate? Just to
yeah.
shoot, not to edit.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's such a weird. My question, oh, what's the budget? What's your budget?
Hmm.
What have you got? I always kind of put the ball
That's
back in
smart.
their
Yeah.
court. I
Yep.
never say a figure because sometimes you're thinking like, oh, right, 450, and they say like 150, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I still really want to go, but you know, okay, we can
Yeah.
do 200. And sometimes you're like 350, and they're like 950, and you're like, oh yeah, that'll
Yeah, I
do.
suppose that'll
So
do. Yeah.
yeah, so you
Yeah.
sort of have to, yeah,
It's funny how that works, and it depends on like who the client is. You can tell, like, if it's a big corporation, you can get away with charging a little bit more. But
yeah,
if it's like a core BMX brand, you got to keep your
yeah,
expectations low. It's
yeah,
interesting, and I just think that part of the business is dope, because, like, I don't know,
yeah.
just making a living doing something that you're good at is fucking rad. Like Lisa painting, you
I
making
know. Well,
videos.
I was literally about to say Lisa's in that exact same world. She paints a picture, and she's got galleries that deal her stuff. Other people would message her on Instagram, or other people would call into your studio, and there is a price, but there's a bit of movement as long as you like what you do.
Yeah.
And was it, I think it was Fudger was talking about your like happy price, which is,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you're happy, then if you get more, again, if you're happy, it's fine.
Yeah. Exactly. I love it.
There'll always be something else and something else. You learn, and it's all a big kind of movement, isn't it?
Yep. As long,
Yeah.
yeah. At the end of the day, like, if you enjoy doing what you're doing, it doesn't really feel like work, and the fact you're getting paid is just a bonus. Like,
Yeah.
with this podcast I'm doing for free, but with the Digg partnership, there's, it's, things are
Oh,
changing, and it's very exciting.
mansion's coming.
Yeah, the mention is
It's
coming.
coming. Yeah. Yeah. I know.
I
Well, that's
told,
the thing. But you do, but you do, because well, here's, because it's funny because, I hang out with a lot of BMX filmers and stuff.
Mhm.
And, you do talk about money, and you do talk about what to charge and stuff. And I hear a lot of people kind of complaining and like, oh, this making it really awkward. They want like they want me to change the song and yada yada. And in my head, like I was saying, I kind of came into it backwards from like real jobs with bosses,
Right.
like getting up at 5 a.m., going and delivering meal all day.
Perspective.
So it's like hectic, and getting like $200 a week.
Yeah, it's
You know what
fucked.
I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like,
And there's a
that's like,
bunch of people out there living that life, you know?
well,
Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so, but then Lisa tells me off because I'm like, you're not charging enough. But it's like, well, I really enjoy what I do, and it's like I'm happy enough, and like, he's gonna try to keep it going, So
yeah,
it is tricky. It is a really tricky one, yeah.
sure is.
And then
I love
if
that,
you get,
Pete.
yeah,
I love
and if you
that.
get one, like, if you get one big job a year, I think it helps a lot. Like a
Yeah,
big, if you get like, whatever, 2 weeks or shoot on like a high daily rate,
yeah,
you get like a good big kind of chunk. That
yep.
helps a lot with stuff as well.
I love that. And it's just like whenever I start getting burnt out because I make videos for a living and then I make BMX
Yeah.
videos for fun. Then I make this podcast for fun too. And it's just like, it's always video. But then I took a shift at my sister's bar where she's a bartender and she needed
Yeah.
somebody to be a back or a busboy. And like,
Mhm.
I'm the oldest dude working at this place, but I'm busting my ass cleaning tables. Like, I spilled a bag of garbage with cigarette juice like all over me, and I stunk for the rest of the night. And then I got paid a total of like $60 for
Yeah, yeah,
a 7 hour shift, and I was like, I'm pretty happy with my life. Dude. This is
yeah.
phenomenal. What's
That's
going
it.
on?
And you're kind of like your own boss as well, you know what I mean? In a way, you can take
Yep,
things, leave things, get up when you want. Like, if you're busy, you're busy.
exactly.
But when you're not, it's nice, like I was saying, I just got back from San Francisco and I've been just editing a few things and getting things sorted for Battle of Hastings. But went for a swim in the sea, about
Beautiful.
cycle. It's like walk my dog. It's like yeah, you gotta take the
So
rough
one,
with the
it's a life. It's not a job. It's there's little gaps of time that you can just do stuff, but then the rest of that, you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
I let's see. Let's try and cover everything. I could talk to you for 17 hours, man. Um, so when you one of the videos on your top 10 list from this article on Digg is the Bruno Hoffman video where he
Oh
does the
yeah.
iconic, way ahead of its time 540 down that crazy double set. And it's
Malaga.
just, yeah, it's just wild seeing like young Bruno, and you were around young Bruno, and now it's been 10 years since then. Like, what's it been like? I don't, it's so cool that you've got to see all these riders who are like at the pinnacle of the game right now, kind of when they were just coming up. You
Yeah. Well, I
actually like
mentioned like
made the videos.
Simone, Chris, Alex Donaghy, like all those dudes I've known
Yeah,
since they were like kids.
yeah,
So it's
it's so
crazy,
wild.
yeah. I wonder what's gonna happen next. I'll be like, you know what I mean? The next lot comes up, I'll just be gone.
Yeah. Speaking of,
Yeah.
who do you think is the next lot? Is there anybody?
Oh,
This is a question I try and ask
I
everyone.
know. I knew you were gonna ask this one too, but
Uh,
I'm bad. I don't know. I was trying to think of some like more kind of Euro guys as well. Um, well, there's a guy, he actually did the like voiceover, that radio voiceover for the feast thing,
okay, yeah,
Tam.
yeah. What's his
And
name?
he Tam,
Tam.
Tam.
Okay,
Tam, I think on Instagram it's like Tam Roasting, but he
okay.
rips. He absolutely rips. Um, you might actually know him from some stuff. I don't know, I'm just back because my memory's not great. I'll be like, I'll get off this and then I'll watch something and be like, oh, like
Yeah,
there's a couple of dudes in Ireland, the guy Dara, but it's like there's always been people here, but if you don't leave, no one knows you.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, people. Whew.
Well, fuck it. That's a good segue to 1 second. Got ready. What you doing? That's a good segue to advice to young kids. Like, you've been in this BMX world for a long time. What is your advice to a 16-year-old who wants to make BMX his life? What do you say to them?
Drink loads. No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know everything that I have has ever happened to me. It like was never like chasing anything. You know what I mean? It's just enjoying it.
Yeah,
Like
that's it right there. That's
like
the advice.
Like the worst thing is like, if a 16-year-old's trying to get sponsored or something,
Yeah.
it's like, what are you
Ugh.
doing? Like, well,
Yeah, for
yeah,
real.
like,
Yeah. It
like
doesn't feel
man,
good.
you just, you're 16, you give it a bit of time, just enjoy yourself. Like,
For real.
yeah,
It,
don't,
and I have empathy for them because they just want, validation and somebody to
yeah,
like, say, yeah, you're dope. But there was kids here in Arizona with in their Instagram bio, like shouting in all caps, like, sponsors hit me up. I can rep your company really. And it's just like, dude, stop it. That's wild.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if that's gonna get you too far.
No, not at all. Quite the opposite.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna have to do another episode.
I know. So, how long has this been? I have no
It's
idea.
been an hour and 45 minutes, and I gotta
Wow.
take off. I gotta get back to my main job.
No
But
worries, no
tell
worries.
me, who is Peter Juice?
Oh, here we go. Well, Jimmy Levan gave me that nickname.
It's sick.
In I was on a federal tour in Australia. That's the same trip I was talking about with the Drain Kids and
Yeah.
John. It was that tour, and I'm just like an idiot. I just show up with like nothing, and like these guys all have sleeping bags and all. And Jimmy was like, "Hey man, you can borrow my sleeping bag." And I was like, "All right, sick." And I had like a hood. It had like a hood in it, and I was like, "Jimmy, this smells really nice." And then I pretended to have like a wank in the sleeping bag, and then Jimmy's like, "Dude, that's my sister's sleeping bag." And I was like, "All right." And then he said, "Don't be getting any of your Peter juice on that sleeping bag." And then I was
Nice.
like, "Gosh, got me Peter juice."
Oh, that's
But
amazing.
and then anytime, because I was working these jobs, and then I would go on these, because I was on federal for a few years, and I would go on these tours, and I was like, here we go. I'm not working anymore. I'm riding my bike.
Fuck
So,
yeah.
I would enjoy a few beverages. And anytime that would happen, everyone would start calling me Peter Juice.
Peter Juice comes
Oh,
out,
look,
dude.
Peter Juice is all right, guys,
We
come
all
on.
have that alter ego. I love that. Eh,
Uh,
Last thing, real quick, but when you were riding for federal, was it around the same time? Have you ever ridden with Stephen Hamilton?
yeah, we were right together. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fucking
I
awesome. Like
like,
in his prime, Stephen
oh,
Hamilton.
dude, like, right. Yeah, this is quite a cool story. So, the like ghetto comp where he does the like
I remember the
270,
ghetto comp. Yeah.
where he like goes into the curve war and does 270.
Yep.
Like out of it. What was that? 2004, something like that. He just got on federal that trip. Ian like saw him like riding, and he was like, "Oh, ride for federal." And then maybe like 2 months later, I mentioned Ian. I was like, "I'm going to San Francisco to ride my bike," because I'd watched. Well, I guess I should maybe slip this in. I'm a massive like skate video nerd as well. So I grew
Yeah.
up watching, because I grew up with, like I said, there wasn't many BMXers here. So I grew up with skaters. So I'm like, almost felt like a bit of a black sheep. There'd be like 15 skaters on me, and
Yeah.
I'd be trying to ride this
Hi
hard.
guys, I'm on my bicycle.
Yeah, but they're all my friends, grew up together, but
Yeah.
so anyway, so I always wanted to go to San Francisco because I saw it in like anti-hero videos and like, just all the like cool spots
Legendary
there, like
spots. Yeah.
all the hideout and yeah, all that.
I can
So I
see the
said,
Stephen Hamilton clips at that spot with the trannies and the benches in my head right
yeah,
now. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I filmed all that.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, so
Jesus.
so I like said to Ian, "Oh, I'm going to San Francisco, like whatever next month," and he goes, "Oh, I'll fly Steven out, and I was like, "Oh, cool, get the fucking ride with Steven for like a week or whatever." And this was like, by the way, this was like, there was no like money, there was no like, I paid for my flight, I paid for the accommodation. We just,
Just made it
it was
happen.
just for fun. It was just like, there was no such thing as getting paid to like fly out and film someone. It was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted to sort of get that across
You
as
just
well.
made it
So
happen.
I literally emailed Stephen, and I was like, "I arrive at the hostel at 4 p.m. from Ireland." And he's like, "Sick, dude, I arrive at 5." And then we just built our bikes up and went riding around the city. So
Amazing,
yeah.
dude. And
So
then one of
Hamilton,
the most influential BMX sections of all time came out from that.
yeah, yeah. And then we had like a frame, like re-released a frame with Federal recently, and I did like a little mini documentary with him. Don't know if you saw that.
I think I did see that. Yes.
went to Ohio and stayed with him for like a week.
Yeah, dude, the documentary stuff that you've done, like Hallowed Grounds, those are fire. Like I'm excited to see this one of those stains. full se-
Sedans.
full se-
St.
sedans.
Anne. St.
Sedans.
Anne. St.
Sedans.
Anne.
Yeah, I
uh,
love
it's
your
quite old though as well.
documentaries.
That St. Anne's one's like maybe like 12 years old. It's quite old.
I won't judge it too harshly, you know.
Yeah. It's pretty, yeah. So
All
yeah,
right,
that was also Stephen. He's
that's
quite,
amazing.
I feel like he's quite misunderstood.
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, he's
But his
great.
most recent video part that just came out was
Yeah.
phenomenal. I loved,
Yeah.
and like he's back. You know, whatever happened, he's back, and I love it, dude. This is abrupt, but I gotta go.
No worries.
Can we do a 3-part series? Will you come back on sometime?
You should fly here. We'll
I
do it in
will.
the
We could do it in person.
Yeah, nice.
All right.
Well, yeah,
Well,
thanks for having me. That was
any last words, Peter Adam?
Oh, Kanode.
That's a
That's
good
the
one.
new, that's the name of the pod. That's the new name, isn't it?
Yep,
Kanode.
that's how you pronounce it. I'm gonna go film some stuff. I'm gonna go film.
Right. I am going to watch something on television and go to bed because I'm a little jet lagged still.
Beautiful, man. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you, Bobby. Nice. Well, good luck with everything.
Thanks, Pete. Nice to meet you, dude.
I'll see you at some point.
Yeah.
We'll meet in person.
I'll see you in the future. Hello, you've reached the end of the video. Peter, thank you for coming on. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. And big shout out to Digg, digbmx.com. I really appreciate all the messages you guys have been sending me. Keep them coming. It keeps me juiced up, ready to go. And yeah, get ready for next week's episode with Mr. Austin Augie. I'll see you in a week.